Hey guys, we're going to be looking at some examples on how to factor trinomials. Once again, what a trinomial is of course tri, meaning three. There's 1, 2, 3 things we're going to be dealing with. An x squared, a single x, and then a constant. Okay, so in order to factor this, what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at 45 right here. What we're going to do first is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to start writing some factors of 45. So what times what could give me 45? Of course, 1 times 45. We could do 3 times 15. We could do 5 times 9, and I believe that's it. Okay, so now out of these factors, now we're going to look to see if I add or subtract any of those together, what will give me 14. Okay, so that's pretty clear. Only one of these could possibly give me 14 is the 5 and 9. Because of course, 5 times 9 gives me 45. But then 5 plus 9 gives me 14. Okay, so how we're going to write that? When factoring trinomials, you always break it into 2 sets of parentheses. They're each going to have an x. Okay, in this case, because it's 5 plus 9 that gives us 14, it's going to be plus for both of them. It's going to be x plus 5 and then x plus 9. So this is what the answer would be in factored form. And once again, you can always check your work with these. How we're going to check our work is to FOIL them and see if they equal what we started with. So FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. So x times x gives you x squared. X times 9 gives you 9x. 5 times x gives you 5x. And 5 times 9 gives you 45. Now I'm going to simplify my like terms, which are these two. So now we have x squared plus 14x plus 45. And we can't simplify that any further. So this looks like what we started with, so this is correct. This is your correct answer. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's look at w squared minus 15w plus 26. Same idea still. Goodness, we're looking for two numbers that when multiplied together are going to give us 26, but when added together give you negative 15. Okay, so once again, we're going to come over here, we're going to write the factors of 26. We have 1 times 26, we have 2 times 13, and I believe that's it. Okay, so out of these, what could give me negative 15? Well, it's pretty clear. The 2 and the 13 can give us 15. I mean, the 2 and the 13 can give you 15. In this case, since it's a negative 15, I'm going to have to make the 2 and the 13 both negative, because if we had 2 plus 13, that would give us a positive 15, but in our equation, since it's negative, we also need to make these negative. Okay, so once again, we're going to break it into 2 sets of parentheses, w minus 2 and w minus 13. And then here would be your answer. Once again, always to check it, you can use FOIL to see if once you FOIL it, if it comes out as your original equation, then once again you know it's correct. Okay, let's look at one last example. Let's look at 2k squared minus. So this one's just a little bit different. Before we're going to just go on to straight factoring it, I'm going to see if I can divide anything by the GCF, so the greatest common factor. Is there a number that we can divide all of these by? Well, yes, it's 2. So I'm going to put 2, start my parentheses. 2 divided by 2 is just k squared, okay? Minus 16 divided by 2 is 8. Bring down our k, bring down our subtraction sign, and then of course 40 divided by 2 will give you 20. Okay, so now same thing as we've been doing up here, we're going to look at the factors of 20. Okay, we have 1 and 20, 2 and 10, and 4 and 5. Okay, so out of these, when we do something to either of them, what could give us 8? Well, looks like the only thing I could possibly give its 8 is going to be our 2 and our 10. Okay, so here's where it gets a little bit tricky. So when we add it together, we want it to be a -8. So if whatever this middle sign is right here, that's what the bigger number over here is going to take. So in this case, we want it to be a -8, so we're going to make it a -10 because -10 plus 2 is going to give us -8. But if we made the 2 negative, it would be 10 minus 2, which would give you +8, which isn't correct because we're looking for -8. Okay, so we're going to keep the 2 on the outside just because we pulled it out from out here. We can't just get rid of it. We have to keep it there. We're still going to break it into 2 sets of parentheses. So K. We decided over here one was going to be a +2 and the other one was going to be a -10. And this one is going to be our final answer. And I'm going to show you how to double check your work. So we have, this is what we believe our answer is. What I'm going to do first, I'm just going to multiply this 2 in just to this one. So 2 times K is 2K, and 2 times 2 is 4. Now I'm going to FOIL that with this one right here and see if it gives us our original answer. So keep in mind, FOIL is first, outer, inner, last. So first, we have 2K times K will give you 2K squared. Outer, we have 2K times -10. 2 times a -10 gives you -20. And then of course K. Now we have inner. We have 4 times K, which is 4K. And lastly, we have 4 times a -10, which is -40. Combined our 2 like terms in the middle there, we're left with 2K squared minus 16K minus 40. So then compare that to what we started with, and if that's correct, then this right here is the correct factored form of that trinomial.